Good evening. Welcome to Ubuntu channel. My name is Chaza, right here on a program called My Point of View. This program comes your way every Saturday at 8 p.m. Zambian time. And this program is designed for you and me to actually add our voices to the stories and headlines of the week. And tonight, I'll be joined by my usual panel to actually get to react to these stories that we do have, stories and headlines of the week. This is your program. You are actually welcome to join us and get to add your voice and make your reactions known to the world as regards these stories and headlines that we do have, on this program. By clicking on the link that we are yet to share in the comment section. And if you'd like only to comment but not come live on set, you can just comment right in the comment section. If you like to join us, click on the link and you'll be live on set with us. This is my point of view. I'll be joined by Himba right here and Mr. Mukelebai. Remember to join us every Saturday and you make known your reactions to the stories that we do present to you. Himba, good evening and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Chaza. Good evening, viewers, wherever you can watch us from. It's nice to be with you on this wonderful Saturday, and congratulations to the Zambia national team. You've made us proud. That was a brilliant game. Bravo.
Of course, it was a wonderful game, And right about now, there's a serious traffic jam within, the town of Ndola.
I'm sure, Chaza, that's why you're even smiling. You went to the stadium, didn't you?
Of course I did. I had no reason to stay away, I'm an inch away actually from the stadium as we speak.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well done, guys. You've supported our boys and our boys have done us good.
Believe you me, the stadium was filled to capacity and, a lot of people did not even have seats. It was great support that, we had for the, national team.
It was really wonderful to see such massive support. I think I'm so happy that we are going back to our old lovely days where we would meet in numbers to support the national team. It's so brilliant.
Yeah, and some people at the stadium were actually saying, this is what we need. And if they can play like they have played today, we'll be definitely coming in great numbers. That's what, the people were saying. All right, Mr. Mukelebai, good evening and welcome to the program. You are on mute, we can't hear you.
Good evening, Chaza. Good evening, Himba. And good evening, viewers. And congratulations to Zambia. We always find complaints, reasons to explain to ourselves, exculpate. We need your exculpation. But this time around, I hope the rate at which they are going to make us proud, happy. So, kudos. Otherwise, it's a lovely evening, but as we still have the sun shining, as you can see, I'm sitting right straight in the sun, enjoying some vitamin D's.
Nice one. Definitely, it's a big congratulations, for that, great win that the national team has given us. All right, welcome to it. Once more, my point of view on Ubuntu channel. Let's proceed to take a look at the first story that we do have. And on the other side, we get to have our reactions.
How are you? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Chaza, you're muted. We can't hear you. I don't know. Your volume is low. Chaza, we can't hear you. Once more, it looks like we've lost Chaza. Wamukelebai. That was our Zambian president. He's not in the country, as we are aware. He's at the moment he's in Russia from Ukraine for the peace. Is it peace negotiation mission between Ukraine and Russia? What is your view?
Well, thank you so much, Imba. What we see, we've heard even us on our national televisions, we have been shown the efforts of our African leaders coming to discuss, have a meeting with the president of Ukraine, together with the president of Russia, in an effort to find a mutual ground where they are trying to end this conflict, because their conflicts, once it is prolonged, it means a lot of people are going to be affected, especially those that are benefiting from Ukraine's gas and Ukraine and Russian fuel and other commodities. The world is affected. Even the currency, the exchange rates, you can tell that things are expensive today in Africa, everywhere you go in the world. And everyone points a finger at the war or in Iraq, in Ukraine and Russia, between Ukraine and Russia. And we don't want that to continue. We want to better our people's lives. So we have seen the efforts from our African presidents that have come to negotiate, or rather discuss a little bit, have listening to both sides and find a solution that is going to be workable. Otherwise, as for probably America getting involved, I believe they can't, because Putin is not. I don't think he is in favor of the U.S. as he purports them to be hypocrites. But when we see other world leaders coming together and wanting to sit down with Putin and the president of Ukraine, this really brings joy and brings confidence in most of the African people, to say we have leaders really that are trying to work things for the better of our countries, and of course to save lives of the Ukrainians and Russians whose lives are at stake, and properties that have been destroyed. So kudos, and I just hope that the opposition in Zambia should not belittle this kind of visits. If anything, we should hold our president high and really appreciate that we chose the right leader that will face powerful nations and try to find a solution to end their crisis. Otherwise, it's a wonderful approach, and we love it, and we should just applaud that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mkelevai. We greatly appreciate Himba. I was thrown out. I really don't know if you have already submitted your viewpoint as regards this story.
Not yet, Chaza. First and foremost, Chaza, I'd love to say it's nice, it's encouraging to see the Zambian president to be part of this team who's going to negotiate for the world peace. For me, I'm calling it world peace because it involves all the countries in the world. We are affected in one way or another. If you are not direct affected over the war in Ukraine, you're affected indirect. But I'm not going to say about how the countries feel, but all I'm going to say is I'm going to talk about my country, Zambia. I feel so proud, and it's really, really encouraging to see that our leader is part of that team. And definitely the Zambian flag is put on the international market. And it takes the brave leaders to agree to go for such a negotiation process, because a lot is at stake, you know, as Bom Keleba has put it, you know, this is as a country, we need the relationship with America. And this person you're going to negotiate doesn't like America. So it takes a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge, a lot of critical thinking just to handle this case. And also just think of it, the idea of going into a war zone that have been taking place for more than a year. And we know that it's very dangerous a place, and your life, you're basically putting your life at risk. But these African leaders, they've said, no matter what it takes, we are going to go there, we are going to add our voice, we are going to add our input, and we are going to be part of this peacemaking process. You know, I'm so proud of them. And President HH, may God be with you, and we hold your back, and we'll be praying for you. Thank you, Chaza.
Thank you so much. We greatly appreciate, those viewpoints as regards this story. Without much ado, let's proceed and take a look at the next story. And those of you that are listening or following, please, you can join us if you'd like to participate by dropping your comment in the comment section or clicking on the link, and you get to join us on set. Then you make known your reactions and viewpoints as regards the stories that we are giving you. Let's take a look at the next story.
A helicopter allegedly linked to proceeds of crime has been retrieved from Zimbabwe, and another is yet to be flown from South Africa.
All right, that story is about, some individuals from the previous regime that, procured helicopters from proceeds of crime. And these helicopters, one has been retrieved in Zimbabwe, and another one yet to be retrieved in South Africa. Mr. Mkeleba, your reaction. Kindly unmute your mic.
Since the matter is before the courts of law and is still under investigations, we don't want to speculate. We don't want to rush or jump the gun, or rather be cited with contempt. At the same time, we are kind of happy to see that our leaders, like they promised, they are walking the talk, and we can see that results are being fulfilled. So we are very happy on one side, even though the procedure takes a little bit of time, but at least we can tell that efforts are being made. And just to hear that our investigatory authorities and law enforcers, they are corroborating with other their counterparts in the neighboring countries. It's a wonderful thing, and you find that they are busy working together. And this fight of corruption, against corruption, it actually can, it's more contagious. And since the Zambians have started doing this, I promise you, you will see it will be like wildfire. All African countries will emulate and start fighting corruption this way. And you will see that they will be recovering a lot of stolen properties stolen properties. So it is a very wonderful thing to hear that in the first place, those helicopters before the loss of elections, before the coming in of the current government, those two helicopters, where there were 2 or 4, we don't know, they were actually in Zambia. We used to see them being flown from one place to another. So if they were not stolen property, why would you take them away from the country, take them to neighboring countries so that To what? What were your achievement? What were you trying to achieve? To evade crime? To run away from the things that you did wrong? So, we told the previous regime that there's no other person this government is going to follow, especially when you were holding public office and then you amass wealth that is unexplainable within a shortest period of time. The law is simply clear. If you were paying taxes and we know your income, how you were doing your business, and we know for sure that before that business was, there was even a world financial crisis where the people were having difficulties in pursuing their normal business transactions. But then suddenly it was only in Zambia, our own politicians who had their businesses, even without any formal training of business, you find that they were making 1,000, 2,000 profits of their business, pointing at business. So we started wondering, why? What is the magic these people are doing? And then today, we are being vindicated by our current government that is busy recovering, because people are failing to explain how they amassed their wealth. And we knew that this wealth was the monies that they took from the government, or they used their authorities to acquire what they have. So we are just crossing our fingers that the state recover as much properties and money as possible, as they did in Ifesi Musonda, and now it's the helicopter. And most of these other leaders, they are still undergoing court proceedings. So we are just crossing our fingers that our properties and the monies come back to our Zambian people so we can increase CDF. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mkelabai. Himba, what's your take on this issue?
Charles, first and foremost, I'd love to say well done to the investigation team and well done to the Zambian government. Pepa kuleka mupitirishe therefore impia shwerere mumatumba yesu. We need more money in our pockets. However, I would love to echo these words to the politicians, those people who've got access to our national coffers. Please, we don't send you there to go and root our money. No. To go and look into our interest. Actually, we trust you with the keys to the national coffers. Guard them jealously. Tatumie bati mukaye mukwiba ulo mukaye shitama helicopter mule yakatuishuko. Those things you are buying with our money, we need our money. You'll be accountable one day. Even those who are in the office right now, please mind the way you are running that office, be transparent, stay away from corruption, because we want you to be accountable. And this generation, it's a different generation. It's a generation where people are informed. It's a generation where people want to know the truth. It's a generation which understands the responsibility and duties of the political leaders. Tatumituma tumle amkushitama helicopter and babantu no kwibafe basa gubagumwe tamwe. How do you even explain all this? So we don't know. We don't want to say much about this case, but all we are going to say, we are so grateful. We are so thankful to those who've been who've given the powers to follow up on these cases. Please do a good job. Think of the Zambian people and think of your children, your grandchildren, and think of just the Zambia at large. And to the Zambian people, let us not be twila support efifyonse fyo balanda wewe ni tribal so mlenje wati olomuntu like helicopter nga yafuma ati nikantwa wakwana kadoli. So we need to let that person, because they are going to say it's tribal. Is that what we are saying? The Zambian people, let's guard our resources jealously. Even if it's your own brother who stole the money, please let us have the courage to point out and say this is wrong. And it's theft. It should be condemned. It should be reported. Whereas no, it's persecution. Persecution wale ibaweka. Awe ni tribal into wale ibatawapereko na wachifu wale ibaweka. So Zambian people, let us stay away from this. When there's a case, let us develop the interest to understand and get to the bottom of these cases so that we're at to not if you solidarity nevinto tuition if you understand. Meanwhile, balesta helicopter tabami sendera tien mushte solidarity tien mun support bailebeka but inga babeka at solidarity. Let us guard our national resources jealously, and if somebody is guilty, let them answer the law. And if somebody is being suspected, let them go and clear their name. Ingabakwe you are a suspect, go and clear your name. Not inga wamfuafye bakapukula watampo kubutuka fishule butuka katawai bile ngatawai pay omuntu. If you know that whatever angle they will take you, they will not find anything. So as the Zambian people, let's love our country. Let's protect our Zambian flag so that tomorrow Zambia is going to be one of the best countries to live in the world. Thank you, Chaza.
All right, thank you so much. As the saying goes that, absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's all I can say. Let's proceed and take a look at the next story.
Another attempted illegal marriage at Lusaka's Civic Centre. A married woman of Lusaka, identified as Finet Nkoma, attempted to get married to another man. But before the marriage could be sealed, the woman's mother, Alice Nkoma, appeared at the marriage registrar's office to stop the union. According to Ms. Nkoma, her daughter is a married woman with a 4-year-old child. In a telephone interview with the marriage registrar, the woman's husband, Mika Tembo, said his wife left home on Friday on the pretext that she was going for a party.
Are you married? Yes, I am. What is the name of your wife? Finet Nkoma. Yes. Is she staying with you at your home or she's somewhere to the parents' side? She's with you.
The marriage has since been declared null and void.
A person cannot have 2 marriages when you are still in a marriage. So the marriage was considered null and void. People should not modernize marriage and to turn marriage into a business venture where you want to source money from people. I think we should avoid that. In the future, it might land some people in problems.
Meanwhile, Cancer Public Relations Manager Chola Mwamba also disclosed that the woman brought fake witnesses.
We saw a situation where a parent is not a genuine parent. They've just hired this person. So as a local authority, we will not entertain such kind of illegality anymore. And that is why we are very, very alert to ensure that these people that are coming to get married, they meet the required conditions for them to get married.
The husband-to-be, Gabriel Chisha, said he did not know that Finet was a married woman. Fortune Malaza, ZNBC News, Lusaka.
This is the second of the kind where, a married woman attempts to get married to another man without being divorced or without divorcing the earlier husband. Let me start with, the woman. It's a woman victim and a woman center right now. Himba, your reaction to that?
Now ishwachaza ayamali ashaya ifi ndiye munakwati kubuta. I'm telling you, this is because if you look at there's no way 2 people can organize a wedding without families getting to know about it. Ninshi elobale shita organize wedding it doesn't really make sense for me anyway. Although
It appears you women have become so sophisticated, because like we read in the story, the parents were hired parents, they were not real parents, and meaning that the real family did not even know about this. It was totally in privacy.
Chaza gatwamba netuyowa. This woman was married, or she's married, staying with her husband, isn't so? So
Yes.
she's got a 4-year child, and apparently she's got a mother. And whether we like it or not, this man who wanted to marry this woman, some of the family members, they know about this woman. This affair, they know about it, despite this woman being married. They know some family members. And to be honest with you, some of the family members, they know that this marriage is about to take place. But however, I'm not going to blame the woman or a man. For me, they are both in a wrong. Even this man can't say, I didn't know that she was married. India, so mukazanga kuteshe for some time, sure. You can't notice that this woman is married. Nishama kunama chani, ama kuuza chani. And then it's not making sense. Me, I'm married. You are Chaza, we are dating. So unga sachiteko suspect nangu pangono iwe mwe uyendela kakambidwe certain things, because a married person and the person who is not married, the behavior is totally different. Even the times they'll pick up their call, even the way they'll answer their call, it's very, very. It's something that you can tell that how do you marry a woman you don't even know where they stay? Because nishaba mdala wanu za siwa za kwe bankala wakazi wanawapeleka kwinangu ati ndiye kumakolo kwanga. And if this mother was able to go per last minute, me, I strongly feel the mother knew about this affair. Manje kapena wenze kujia tuwa kumbali did not expect it to turn into marriage. Anyway, I don't want to judge. All I'm going to say was even to vileke. It's wrong, it's sad, and if you're not happy with your current spouse, please divorce that man and go and marry another man whom you are happy with. It's not making any sense. You put your family in an embarrassing. This is very embarrassing. Naye mwe bamuna chani why mukonda bakazi bokwatira kulibe bali free simu babaona.
Like the man said, he didn't know that the woman was married.
He's lying. I don't believe that. He's lying. Enzoziba masigns enzo yaona. Now I'm telling you, Chaza, olo mwamuna okwatira che. Mwe trousers yake niyo chisiwira, it will tell you. There are things I can tell over a married man and somebody who is not married. The behaviors yamapusana. Yapusana, even a married woman and a woman who is not married, the way you interact, the things she does, something is going to raise a red flag. I don't agree that he didn't know. I don't. But it's wrong. What morals are we transferring to the next generation or to our children? Anyway, maybe the government should also allow women to get married to 4 men. Like maybe to sort out the problem, but this is embarrassing. I rest my case, Chaz.
Thank you so much, Himba, and I'm glad that such is coming from a fellow woman like you, because right now women have become so sophisticated and they just want to be like men, because men are allowed to be in polygamous marriages. So even women probably are feeling like they should be allowed to be with several men as husbands. But
in our culture, that is a taboo. In our culture, that is a taboo, Chaza, and no justification for such an act. You can't justify that act in our culture. Whichever way, that act is not justifiable. If you are not happy, walk out of that marriage, end it, and start a new marriage. That's it. Full stop.
Great. And in my mind, I actually, have been thinking that probably instead of just having bigamy, we must also have attempted bigamy. If one is in marriage and attempts to contract another marriage, let it be criminalized. That is what I think. Mr. Mkelewai, your take.
Wow, thank you. Attempted bigamy. You see, that situation ought to have been avoided had the woman known whether she was married or not. A lot of women today that are in marriages, especially those marriages that were contracted under customary law, they have no idea whether they are married or not. Because most of these marriages, they are just marriages either for conveniences. Because ni damage, then ni bambonkala bantu pamozi, without any formal documentation or any payments of dowry according to our custom. It does not show anywhere. But for as long as these people have been living together for such a long time and have been purported to be, or rather society perceive them as a couple, then it's a couple. But then such issue comes out when one of them dies. That's when now people now go back to the drawing board to say, hey, I don't want to speak about the graphs, but they will just go back to the drawing board and say, uyu muntu senzo kwatira. Actually, mwenzo chisache cohabit, wenzeli bechikwati. So you find those are problems that are making another person or these current women finding themselves in such kind of predicament. They would rather go and start entertaining other people because they know that kwenzeli bechikwati, there was no formal proper marriage. So if you are to investigate this matter, you will be surprised to find that even when that person is purported to be married from the other man, if you investigate it historically, you will find that uja mukazi kapena sienze okwatiriwa wenze chabe damage and damage or whatever at much time kutakata bamutakatira then kwasiya pamene apo bambonkala pamozi then bankala for 7 years, 4 years, 10 years together and they start perceiving them as a couple. But what is important is the first step, the first cut should be the deepest. What happened to the marriage? Was the marriage contracted? Was there a contract or marriage? If you ask the very marriage registrar at the Civic Centre, did they find such a name in their data system that this person is already contracted, has a marriage certificate already to the other person? They don't have that kind of
tradition marriages. They don't have the marriage certificate.
No, you can still. There's the provision that you can still have a marriage certificate under customary law. You can go to local court. You can go to local court.
Not once
Yes, that's where the problem is. There's no proper explanation either from the government or from the human rights commissions, from the human rights people, or this organization, the NGO. You have to educate the community out there. People don't know. There's a lot of conflicts between customary law and the statutory law. You go to Civic Centre tibakwatiriwe, kansi muntu enze okwatiriwa mu under customary. So I don't blame that woman, neither do I blame the man. You know, I blame the systems. Our custom is the one that has really brought these confusions. Because ngati mukazi in her mind sunampake ring kukwanji, sunampase ring mwenzeli bena wedding, kwenzeli bena wedding even ya tradition ya mchitenge kwenzeli ibe ni tumbale chabe na vokamba kamba chabe kwa sirati pamene apatini chikwati. No, she will simply say I'm not married. I would simply walk away. But let's take care of our women and tell them, you are my wife. Put the ring on the finger if you like it.
You know? If I can chip in, I think for me, the wedding and the ngululu, everyone, that is ceremonial. The marriage is where the two families sit together, agree, bridal price is paid, you are married then.
But the question is, what happens if the bride price is not paid or it's not even fully paid? Can you still call it a marriage?
Actually, even when the bridal price is not fully paid, the two families sat together. It's not all. Actually, in some traditions, they don't even advise to clip the bridal price. So for me, if the two parents sit together and then they agree That is a marriage.
Yes.
These others, those are white wedding. Those are just ceremonial things. It's just.
It's not about white wedding, my dear. Bemba idioms, they even say, Nkobekela. The Bemba's idiom says, Nkobekela te chupo.
I'm not talking about, no, I'm not
You
talking
can
about
even, but those are the things that constitute people to be living together. Just because you've expressed yourself to interest in this woman, and then suddenly akwate fumo mukashana memu mwamuleta mwamutwala kunganda ya mwaume, because they had already taken intention, had already put the intention ya kupa, but bampera damage ati awe musungeni mwana wenu, musungeni mwikale no mukashi wenu, then kwapita miaka kwapita mayezi, what happens? Then a couple they are even doing all the marital duties, conjugal rights and everything. Then what happens? How do you call that? Could you call that a marriage? So if they sangwa ababa kashana vale upwanomba to other marriages, eva lesa mkusanga tibali muma ka predicament yak. That's why my relatives, they're even coming out to say, but you are you poor? Yeah, we tell you more. Ama issues na kokulia. So in what I can only say is that let us try to clear our senior chiefs, our legal-minded people. Let us sit down and please explain what is marriage, customary marriage, because twalikwata customary ama customs ayengi. So they are confusing the current generation. Nga waikata kofi omwana nkashikuboko ati mukashuove. Wamuleta kunganda alala kofi one night ati mukashuove. So what are you trying to tell us, people? So please, that's my take. I'm playing the devil's advocate now. I'm supporting the woman.
So we do appreciate, I think there must be some legal reforms in Zambia so that we can also have presumptive of marriage. If, like you are saying, you stay with a woman, in the same house, in the same bedroom for, 6 months, it must be presumed that there's marriage there. So
Chaza, musavute la mulo. Sorry, CJ. Musavute la mulo hapa. Tisazivuta malamulo. These things are straightforward. Musaita dinga samvera olo muntu apanga mistake, you are looking for somebody to blame. No. Be the bearer of your own cross. Don't start to look for somebody to blame. Because olo mukamba ati ma traditions ya paka. Ine pano ndine mtonga. There's no I'm going to tradition ya tonga ya paka. Kulinai. I should understand my culture. No. What does my culture say about my marriage? That's what I should follow. If I'm getting married to a Bemba person, I should be able, my parents and my elder, they should be able to intambisha kubemba nishi. Gubutonga mbotu wata mbobu. It's straightforward. Tamwa muksende intambisha ku Eastern Province. Because Shamwina Zambia, no. And even the law itself.
Bambife mami, ukufyala kofi omwana ati chupo. Ukufyala kofi omwana.
Tabahui. And bamo, tabakonkane ntambi. Tabafano. Even now in our culture, cohabiting is not allowed. But to go around the community, you see how many people are cohabiting.
And how do they call that?
No, but this is what I'm trying to say. Let's not blame the systems. Let's not blame our culture. If you failed to follow the culture, bear the cross. The culture is there to guide us. The systems are there. In our culture, cohabiting doesn't exist. But no, I love this is modern. The system, our culture. But this is the same culture we used to follow.
Sorry, Himba. Cohabiting is allowed. It is
there. Just hold your reaction. Let's give a chance to CJ, who has not spoken at all. CJ, your floor is right here.
Thank you, Chaza. Let's not confuse things. Okay. Let's not confuse things. Vintu is straightforward. Customary marriage is customary marriage. Okay. And I would say it's got similar grounds for almost all the the tribes, whether they are 72, 80 chan.
Thank you.
The two families have to agree that ababiri vakwatirana, they put them together, whether it is through damage, through eloping, through chani, but the two families agree at okay imwe tengana and manje, your husband and wife. That is customary marriage. It does not require kutenga certificate swamaenda kucancel, provided the two families have agreed that these two will live together as married, as husband and wife. Ione customer. That's where you even have to, like it's a nice okubatonga whereby tingakwatire 5, 6, 7 wives, provided you are a tonga poor and you have capacity. It is acceptable. Okay, that is customary. But when we come now to statutory, that is a different thing altogether. This is the one where now you make notice to cancel and you're only allowed to have one wife or one husband. That is the statutory one. So kapena wenzofuna mkaza ina experience kai these days when we are employing tima stock ambata atufunako aliko na experience mkazi at least are you fruitful? I mean, they're able to bear fruit. They are productive in the industry. So maybe that's
CJ.
May I just come in there?
Yeah, on a serious note, otherwise, I think for that woman to do that, the basic is that she's not happy in her marriage. Okay, if she was happy, shouldn't have gone that way. It means things are not working out.
Just to cut you short, I don't think it's an issue of happiness. For me, if it were happiness, she could have left her marriage to go into another marriage. So to me,
that's what she did.
Where she wants to have both marriages. This one is a secret, and she keeps the odd one.
Nimpengele.
Ukulanda fetinka.
Okay, let CJ finish first. CJ.
Okay.
Kuri phrase that has been common on social media. Ataba umebaba ngomu pashi wa mshiro. Tabeka rapari confusion. Or rapari chimfurunganyo, something like that. Okay? If a woman is happy with a husband, she is satisfied always, whether in bed.
You are talking, brother. You are talking.
Socially, she is satisfied. Why should she want to have another man and make it official kutini husband? Okay, it means there is something wrong. For a woman to make that move, it means ukumarriage ukusaiduku, the real marriage inafa kudara. Okay, women are more tolerant than Isebamuna. Isebamuna even ukasachabe suspect that no mkazi shan ni pamina po fired. Women are more tolerant. So the bottom line, things are not working out. Okay, for her to make that move, probably there are other fears that she had why she didn't break it off and go that way.
Okay, CJ, hold it there. Mr. Mkelewa wants to come in. Yes, Mr. Mkelewa.
How do you end customary marriage?
You go back to the parents.
Do you go back to the parents? Do you? Yes. How do you end? How do you consider a marriage, customary marriage, is it's null and void? It's no longer, people are no longer together. Is it by word of mouth?
Yes, exactly. You go through the same process. When your
do you have to pay? Do you have to pay something?
It depends on the discussions that you have. Whether it's taking back the dowry, you do that, and then.
And if that person never paid anything, would you take back anything?
The goodness with this
depends on the sitting.
The reason why I'm asking these questions. The reason why I'm asking these questions. These are the questions that this woman, if I was her lawyer, I was going to go to court and simply argue on those basis, on that basis, because today we are arguing that was a marriage. Okay, we are purporting it to have been a legal marriage. Okay, because relatives sat down and agreed whatever, and now when she decides to walk away, under customary marriage, you walk away, you don't want the marriage can end. Any reason, remember this, any reason in a customary marriage can be a ground to divorce. You know that.
Sorry,
But under statutory marriage, you must prove that this marriage has broken down irretrievable. Simamene.
So now,
Then
just
there are five factors.
Just there before you go further, the woman's mother is the one who called, meaning the family did not consent to the marriage being dissolved. So in that respect, marriage was still standing, because for a traditional marriage, both families have to agree and sanction that, okay, this marriage is over. So that didn't happen. That's why it was held that she still...
CJ, let me cut you short. I do agree with you, and I would like us to, control our discussion and zero it into, this married woman who attempted to get married. I think let's no longer question, the subsisting marriage. Was there marriage, or, there wasn't marriage, and so on. The facts that we have before us is that a married woman attempted to contract another marriage with another man. Our reaction.
We don't know that for the fact.
No, the registrar of marriage.
It was just by word of mouth.
No, the registrar of marriage called the husband, and the husband confirmed.
By word of mouth.
No, let's not complicate things here. Let's not complicate.
Who did that?
And now there's one key point that CJ has brought up here, which I would also want to emphasize. He said, "Bamai bamukazi ndiye babwera kukana kuti abamai nibo kwatiriwa." So which means
is the one who is wrong?
No, we are not going here. We are not judging. We are analyzing. So
that's conclusive because we are talking about consent from the parents.
Yes.
And the parent has testified to say, our daughter is still married.
So when we are talking about tradition marriages, wanakwatirana, mwe munaperekera tumbali, mwe wanankalira, again, ifika kukanga we mkazi, you go back to your parents. Imwe makolo, ine kuja kwen naenda kulimuliro, I can't stay, they'll sit together. Bazabaleta both parties. Iwe mvera mkazi wako vera mvera mkazi wako. Bamai bake bazaka mbawe ichichupo chipwe. Na watate bake gachimana iha badirwa na bakukalanto mwe they failed. Tavomelezana. Okay, manje mu bridal price tibwe zati shitachani, they will agree. And one thing we should appreciate, these elderly people are very wise. They can analyze issues very well. So nichikwati chijana cheve. That's why even whether it was traditional marriage, because the mother did not authorize. Even the registrar of marriage said, no, we can't go ahead. You see, so they work hand in hand. The fact is, I still stand. There's no justification for such an act. Vikakanga chikwati, move out, close that marriage, and move to the next marriage. Whether tradition, whether Christianity, whether which way you went into marriage, whether ni locally, cease the other marriage, then you go into the next to avoid such confusion and embarrassment. Full stop.
Thank you so much. And CJ, did you finish your mind?
Yeah, I think we've expressed ourselves, I think, enough on this one.
But
apatiamba ma GPS tracker so that we make sure there's a parameter of Civic Centre.
No matter what people will say, that woman has already made up her mind and she's going to go and marry that man. Come rain, come sunshine. Whether they were embarrassed on the national television like that, they will continue what those people were doing, and that man, the husband, the so-called the husband, won't have any cause of action. And the only best thing he can do right now is to simply If he is legitimately married, let him go to the courts of law, to the local courts, and petition for divorce so that he can let that woman go, because she was even in a wedding dress. So she was ready to go. She is ready to move on. She has already moved on. So olobaleli shamafoni ukweva banani mukashiwandi banyina bapike injunction mukashiwamene, there's nothing they can do. She will simply go. She can even stay with him and cohabit and start performing normal duties as a husband and wife. And what can the society do? Nothing.
Thank you so much, Kelewai. Thank you so much.
It's okay na vena vakavopela third money vakaingire fena akayauka na kuri umbi vena vakavava namba vakavaletera munavo umbi futi.
Yeah, that's the time that probably the man who also feel another man's pain. It's been a discussion, reactions turned into a discussion right here on Point of View. Let's get to the next story and get to see what we do have on that story just after the story.
So as you can see, we are at Kawata, Emasdale Police right now. We came to see Ambassador Emanuel Mwamba. We have seen him. Of course, the sad part is that they're not even allowing him to come out. So we had to see him through a small window. But the good thing is that he's in very much high spirits. We love the fact that he's strong. He explained how the situation was yesterday. He was abandoned into that vehicle, arrested by about 12 policemen, humiliated and everything. And it's very, very sad that even when people come to see him like this, they're not allowing us to see him. Of course, they're saying that the people that came earlier on, they took him out and those people were able to see him from outside. But for us, the people that have come out now, that have come to see him right now, they're just making him they're making us see him from that small window, which is not very, very good. When they arrest a political figure like that, they should know that a good number of people are going to come and see him. So if again they start feeling as if we are coming too many or too much and the place is becoming spoiled, they should avoid arresting political figures, because this is what normally happens. You arrest one of us, all of us are going to come and support and see that person. So the only thing that we're happy about, like I said earlier on, I think it's the high spirit of the ambassador. He is in high spirit and he is very, very okay, and he's telling everybody out here to be strong, because he's actually being strong himself. So
how do you describe these arrests? I mean, it started with you. We've seen Diali, we've seen yourself, Emanuel Mwamba, we've seen Sean Tembo. How do you describe these arrests?
These arrests are very, very unfortunate, in a country like Zambia, which we call democratic. And that is why you see that a person like me, I always find it very, very difficult to call Zambia a democratic country. And under the UPN, it's becoming worse, and worse by the day. So this is one of an example yet again, which shows you that they're very, very intolerant and want to silence voices out there. They are targeting people that are talking, So trust me, there's something which Emanuel Mwamba said this week or last week or wherever, where they just said we are going to get him. I always laugh and sometimes even get upset when the UPND cadres say that President H and the UPND brought freedom. Which freedom did they bring? Because these days, when you talk, you're not even guaranteed you're going to sleep home the following day. That's the kind of Zambia we live in right now. Every time we say something, you find that they're going to find something from what you said just to have you arrested. So that's the kind of Zambia that we live in. And I'm very, very happy that the U.S. Embassy have released a report, for human rights violations for 2020.
Deputy Public Relations Officer of the Zambia Police, Mr. Godfrey Chilavi, just to give us an update on what's happening at the moment. We do understand that Mr. Emanuel Mwamba is still detained, but let's get the latest update from Mr. Godfrey Chilavi. Mr. Godfrey Chilavi, you're live on Diamond TV, news on the go. Just give us an update on the detention of Patriotic Front Presidential Hope, Mr. Emanuel Mwamba.
Yeah, thank you very much. I wish to confirm here that Zambia Police Service today, this afternoon, we formally charged and arrested Mr. Emanuel Mwamba together with Andy Luchinde for the following counts. 2 counts of forgery, contrary to Section 342 Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia, that's the Penal Code, and 3 counts of publication of false information contrary to Section 54 of the Cyber Crimes and Cyber Security Act number 2 of 2021. So each faces 2 counts of forgery and 3 counts of publication of information contrary to Section 54 of the Cyber Crimes and Cyber Security Act. So let's look at briefly the synopsis of these charges. So in the counts of forgery, contrary to Section 342, it is alleged that Mr. Mwamba, Emanuel, whilst acting together with Andy Luchinde and other unknown persons, did forge a document, namely Presidential Directive Letter, purporting that the Republican President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, did direct, that's the allegation there, did direct the Director General of Zambia Security Intelligence Services to contain the activities of Archbishop Alik Banda. So this is alleged to have occurred on June 8, 2023 here in Lusaka. Then count 2, that is publication of information. It is alleged that on 8th June 2023, jointly and whilst acting together with Andy Luchinde and other known person with intent to compromise the safety and security of the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Emanuel Mwamba and Andy Luchinde did publish a letter in a picture purporting to have been signed by the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, directing the Director General, Zambia Security Intelligence Services, to contain the influence of Archbishop Alik Banda of the Roman Catholic Church in Lusaka on the activities that he had on government and quasi-government institutions using computer system on Facebook pages known as Patriot Front and Grindstone TV. In count 3, that's forgery, contrary to Section 342, it is alleged that Mr. Mwamba on 8th June 2023, jointly and whilst acting together with Andy Luchinde and other unknown persons, did forge a document, namely request letter, purporting that the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security, Mr. Joseph Akafumba, did request the Secretary of the Cabinet at Cabinet Office to petition the Vatican through Apostolic Nuncio in Lusaka regarding the activities of Archbishop Alik Banda. Then the other counts, publication of information. It is alleged that on 8th June 2023, here in Lusaka, Mr. Emanuel Mwamba, jointly, whilst acting together with Andy Luchinde and other known persons with intent to compromise the safety and security of Mr. Joseph R. Akafumba, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security, did publish a request letter in a picture form purporting that the PS Akafumba wrote a letter to Secretary to the Cabinet requesting to petition the Vatican through Apostolic Nuncio in Lusaka regarding the activities of Archbishop Alik Banda using computer system on the Facebook of the Patriotic Front page and Grindstone TV. Count 5, that's publication. It is alleged that Mr. Emanuel Mwamba on 8th June 2023 in Lusaka district, whilst acting together with Andy Luchinde and other unknown persons with intent to compromise the security and safety of the following persons: Mr. Batuke Imenda, Mr. Norman Chipakupaku, Mr. Wallace Chakawa, and Mr. Grayson Hamasaka, did publish an email printout reporting that
Quite a number of allegations leveled against, Mr. Mwamba there and his counterpart. Let me invite you, CJ, to react first to this story. CJ. It appears CJ is not ready. Let me take you, Mr. Mkelebai.
Thank you so much, Chaza. It's a quite sad development, but some of us, I think we knew from the way Emanuel Mwamba and the rest of the PF or the opposition have been conducting themselves after their loss of the general election in 2021. We have seen the propaganda that was being propagated. Suddenly, they became the masters of the internet or social media. Suddenly, they were every day on social media, telling people, feeding the nation with information that are not accurate, not up to date. So there has been a lot of information that went out there to the public that people in the country certain people took such information as true and as true information, and today they perceive the current government in a very different way because such information that are not truthful have already been spread out there. So right now we see that the law is now catching up with them. They even went as a mile ahead and start forging documents, publishing documents that are not authenticated, that are not legit, but all in the name of wanting to spread falsehood or make the current government look that they are not doing what is right. But you can do those things where there's no law. This country runs with the law. The rule of law is clear. And the very law that the PF government enacted in 2021, it's the same law, the cyber crime law. It's the same law that these people have been charged on and used. So I don't understand why certain opposition leaders would even start talking about the freedom of expression is being, this country is not being democratic, like Imbowe report was saying. I find that statement also to be really a little bit not okay, not correct, because she has to explain to the people. As she was busy explaining, she was expressing her freedom. She has this freedom of expression, and then she claims that the freedom of expression is infringed upon by the government. Then one wonders and try to make comparison from the previous and today. You find that the current government is doing all the best in trying to do away with the infringing people's rights. When you are arrested today, you go under through investigations. Within the reasonable period, you are released. Then you are charged. Then you are taken to court. All that is within the law. If you are charged with a serious crime, that we know that if they want for them to release you, you may jeopardize investigations, or you may tamper with investigation. The police, they are at liberty to keep you, or even get permission from the courts of law to detain you further, carrying out investigations. If they know that if they release you, you are going to tamper with investigation and delete all the investigations, all the information that they have on you. So the issue of prolonging detention may not come out, because the police also have a defense. And if Mr. Mwamba felt that his rights are being violated, let him take up the matter and go to court and sue. But otherwise, I had so much respect for Mwamba. Unfortunately, when I start hearing these issues coming out, I find it so sad that what a learned person would go to such level and risk his own career, because he must be a senior civil servant. He has served in so many portfolio in government. So he is not supposed to involve himself in illicit activities that may endanger his profession. And he may actually go to jail for just a simple foolish act, just to please his people, so that he can be voted for, or just to dwell on information that are not accurate. So to me, that's very sad. I think he deserves to be taken to court and let the court of law exonerate him from this. If at all he is not guilty, then the court will free him. But if he is, according to the allegation and the charges, then I'm so sorry that he put himself in that situation. And this is not persecution. It is all he's doing, and they did it on their own, at their own peril. Thank you. Yes, Himba, you can go ahead.
It looks like Chaza has is experiencing some technical issues, but however, we'll go ahead with the program. We are talking about the arrest of Emanuel Mwamba, the former ambassador to Ethiopia. He was arrested some few days ago, but however, he's been released on police bond. CJ, what's your take on that?
Okay, it's I'll tell you, it's a sad thing. Personally, I would say for a person of his caliber, I think it's a sad thing that there are such allegations that have been leveled against him, and we look forward to everything rolling out and getting to the bottom of it. If he's convicted, wow. Yeah, it's something else. You know, being an aspiring president, it's anyway. These are the politics that we have in Zambia. But I have a challenge with police action. Okay, where MPs and public figures have been seemingly handled like criminals and the like. You see, there's been a call out there that why don't they just give them call outs so that they avail themselves and then they carry out investigations in a civil way, unlike what one of the MPs termed as abductions. Okay. I feel.
But CJ, sorry, just to ask you one question. Is there a common criminal and a special criminal?
I wouldn't say there's a special criminal, but if you're dealing with someone who's got a firearm, that's a different issue altogether. If you're dealing with someone who's always in public, is not violent in nature, okay, even the approach doesn't warrant violence.
So why why 3 million? Why na faith? They should be handled different.
A person who is a direct threat, okay, is approached according to the threat that person presents. So if a person does not present a threat, there is no need of you approaching them with violence or in a way to subdue them, because they do not present a threat. So when police officers say we used minimum force, okay, it is force that is slightly above the force that the person they're approaching has exhibited towards them. So they need to subdue them, put them under control so that they are able to whether take them for investigation or whatever. So for people that are always, for public figures like those, Okay, even when it comes to apprehending them, it's rare that they would, let me say, they would come out violent in such a way that you really need to manhandle them, unless otherwise. I wasn't there, but
Did you see how Honorable Kampyongo had an altercation with that police officer? It's that kind of attitude that they exhibit when they are being approached by a low-ranking officer. Because you were once an ambassador, you were once up there, you want to intimidate or bully the lower-ranked officer. So
yeah,
that's
now,
why.
my point, my point is that it's not always necessary for them to come out that violent, okay? Unless there are special circumstances. Like in this case, I would assume probably maybe this is just my personal opinion in my thinking, that they had to just approach him physically without giving a call out, because maybe they would fear he would interfere with whatever publications were on those
Exactly. Actually,
whatever.
you are right. You are very right on that one.
So they have to approach him physically. If they give him a call out, maybe he might temper or do ABCD. But I feel for people that are, this is just my personal feeling. For people that are always in the public there, and they do not come out violent in that way, it's easy to access them. Let things be done in a more formal way, because I've seen police action for ordinary. Okay, imagine if a person who's of that caliber, that influence, is bundled and treated like, what more of a common citizen? Because I've seen the way if a munomat handling mkafika ku police wamestiziveka, it's something else, and it also creates a platform whereby
But
certain
CJ,
rights
among the charges he's been given, there's also where I heard in the same audio where it says there was a police officer who was assaulted.
in that case, if that is the case, then it would warrant, like I said, officers use minimum force. Okay, so if an officer comes to you, they request you, let's go together, okay, and then you become violent, they are also going to respond, okay, a little bit higher than your violence. So if you are violent, they'll also put their violence just to subdue you so that you are able to cooperate. Okay, so if he became violent, it warrants that. But for a peaceful person, the violence shouldn't be there. But there has been, police right now are being given a bad impression, a bad image. We are saying they are corrupt, they are unprofessional, all these things, and there is need to manage some of these things so that police are able to get back that confidence and that respect that the uniform is supposed to have. So some of these things should be minimized so that we are able to, build the image of the police. Some of this action is not really necessary. That is my opinion. I think I'll end here. Thank you.
Respect is earned, my dear. If you want to earn respect, you want people to treat you like a king, treat them like kings as well.
Even when it's not everyone, and they work under difficult circumstances,
yes,
and
their lives are in danger.
So anyway, let me end there. Chaza, over to you.
All right, thank you so much, CJ. And somewhat I do agree with you. If someone has stolen a piece of chicken, you can't go with machine guns to arrest them.
Yeah, but what if he has a machine gun and you don't know that?
Unless yes, and you can't steal a piece of chicken with a machine gun.
Possible.
Okay, Himba, your reaction, and thank you so much, Himba, for actually covering me up. Your reaction to that.
You have to pay me, Chaza.
Of course, that's a small issue.
You know what? One of the wise people once said, when you are in power, don't corrupt the systems, because when you leave power, you need the same systems to protect you. You know, one thing, me, I'm going, as I submit, I'm going to be a little bit, I'll divert a little bit from the topic. You know, we are coming from a background where these policemen were taught how to use a tear gas when it's not even necessary. We are taught how to hit somebody when it's not even necessary to hit, you know. And then we have a background, some of the policemen which were being victimized by the previous leaders, you know. So we are coming from a background where we have police officers who are going through a trauma. So ukapeza ujana nexati pakupisha nchito wamleta pafupi nawe nishtayo betimba weshe revenge. But that's not to be the situation. That's why when you are in power, make sure you do the right thing. You manage these systems properly and you make them stronger so that at one point when you need them, you'll be able to use them. You know, coming to the topic of discussion, it's really sad that Emanuel Mwamba has been found in such a situation. It's really sad. How I wish such situation could have been avoided. But, however, if these allegations that have been made against him, let him go and answer and clear himself. You know, if he's not involved, definitely he'll be cleared. If he is involved, the law will take its course. All I still emphasize that when we are in these government offices, let's make sure we do the right thing. Because when we leave office, when we lose power, it will be accountable. Let us learn and hope this is a learning process for everyone. And it's a lesson learned to even those who are occupying the government offices right now. Because what is happening, what is going on right now, it's really sad. Mumvera mahelicopter yabwira kuchoka ku Zimbabwe ku South Africa, you know. So let us guard these offices we are ushered in and represent the Zambian people. Boy Emanuel Mwamba, if he was arrested, it's very sad. But again, these are the police officers. Probably we don't know really what happened. And Bakapokora Nabeve that he was assaulted. So if the other party was squared, could have avoided this, I'm sure this scenario would have not happened. And they are saying, the leader of an opposition party is saying, no, he's not allowed to be seen. But they are giving us mixed information. If he is not allowed to be seen, can we go out there and give the right information to the people, inciting the residents, the citizen? I think that's not the best way. But the political leaders, especially of our generation, we are looking up to you. This old generation is going away. We are looking up to you to take over. Please try by all means to lead by example and to live an upright life in this. Don't be dented from these corruption issues. And as Wamkeleba has said, I also tend to wonder when the political leaders are saying freedom of speech is not there in Zambia. But muntu ankara online every day at freedom of speech. So even when you are communicating to tell the people you are speaking, vakaenda ku polisi vazaimirira line one by one, and they are saying no, freedom of speech is just the same. You've got wina nkuku kumulomo, then ukamba kuno kunyumba batana kulinjala, batu ukudya nyama kumulomo, kuno kunyumba kulinjala. I think let's do politics of integrity. Let's do politics of issue-based and that are going to add value to our economy. Not just to incite the citizen to turn against this leader, to fight against each other. This narrative which is being pushed is not right. If you are clean, as long as you served in the PF, you are going to go ku Mzaenda kumaseo. No, I don't think the whole PF was going to go into sale. So somebody is trying to say, let's move together. Tienti fighting or fighting ile mugunkirwa. So all I would say to the Zambian people, let's mind what we go and support. Let's mind where we push our solidarity. Abama politicians, peva madia beka, peva maba beka. Bakaziti itanako, bakaindosaina macheku usiku, bakambupitisha matranki usiku, bakaziti itanako, tifuna. So let us be careful, my fellow citizen. I rest my case, Chaz.
Thank you so much, Himba. What is Mugunkirwa?
You're following blindly.
Mugunkirwa. Okay, next time you use a foreign word, you should interpret already.
Is that a foreign word? Careful, man.
All right, Himba, thank you so much. We greatly appreciate CJ, Mr. Mukeleba. It's been a great time once more right here. But due to time, my director gave me, a few minutes to wind up. And as far as I'm concerned, I cannot go beyond this. We greatly appreciate you people that have been following. This has been my point of view right here on our Ubuntu channel. Your host, my name is Chaza. Till next time, let's celebrate the victory that, Zambia national soccer team has brought unto us. God bless you all.
Chipolo polo, yeah.